And so to me, like I could do, like I could tell someone like I don't necessarily think that like you would have to come 3 times a week, but if you enjoy how you feel like when you get acupuncture, like you might as well continue to come, you know? So but yeah, man, yeah, like chiros and just like people in general, like they'll just do like that one thing that they know how to do, and then they gotta write you a script to the physical therapist, or
Yeah.
and like I want to be able to like try and, or they won't, and they'll be like, no, you're good now, you know, like they'll set
Just
it
come
back
back
in
again
and
tomorrow.
like you should be
Yeah.
okay. Like if it pops out again, like give me a call.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the LT360 Podcast. You know who I am today. My guest is an old coworker of mine, someone who lives back up north. He's an East Coast fitness professional. He's been in the game for a while, and we have just kind of stayed in contact over the last couple of years since we originally started working. It was my first job at a gym, so he showed me some things back then, and we continue to talk and catch up every once in a while. And he is going to school right now to be a chiropractor, and in the future a full Eastern medicine and naturopathic doctor. So he has a wealth of knowledge, and his name is what he wanted to be known the most, right? Is Patrick Kane, right? So welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, for
Thank you.
sure.
Thank you. That's a good intro.
Thank you. The idea behind this, like I said, is to try to just bring as much value to everyone listening. So I definitely want to dive into everything that you have up in here on the world of Eastern medicine, right? And it's definitely not talked about enough.
Yeah.
It's not used enough, and I think we can all agree that we kind of got to move back in that direction. So
Yeah, definitely.
what have you been doing since we were working together, though? That's kind of where I haven't had
Yes.
like a full understanding of what you've been up to.
Yeah. So I think when we were working at Renegade, shout out to Renegade,
Which is
plug
still
them
there.
real quick.
Yeah, still there.
Yeah, no. So I think when we were working together, I was doing my undergrad, and my undergrad was a bachelor's in science of wellness and alternative medicine. So like
Yeah.
all my like core classes were like the basics, like the sciences, like chem, but like all my like electives and like my other classes were like Ayurvedic medicine and Chinese medicine, like an acupuncture, natural medicine, like I had like yoga classes, like all this stuff, man. Like I have like an array of books here, and it was like the coolest thing. Like learning about all that, but like still learning about like Western stuff as well, like which was good because
The collaboration of the two.
yeah,
Right?
because like what I found myself doing too, like because like I considered going to just like regular like medical school. Yeah, man, we really are going back.
Way back.
We're going way
Billy
back.
Madison style, right? Billy Madison style.
Yeah. No, like I really I considered it, and I was gonna be like a DO, which like DOs, I don't know if you know about DOs. There's like MDs and DOs. And like DOs, they do like manipulations too, but when they became like a board certified physician, they can do like any residency that regular doctor can do.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of them don't do osteopathic manipulations anymore. Like there's no money in it. They're like, I'll go be like a cardiologist or something like that, you know? So
Yeah, for sure.
So it's sort of like a dying breed, man. Like I feel like even like if the chiropractors one day like became like fully licensed like doctors, it might even like take away from that, because then like they may get away from adjustments and like, no, I'm gonna go and just, you know what I'm saying, be like a cardiologist or like an or like a dermatologist, man. Like they make like $400K a year. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Like prescribing shit ointments all day, you know? Like
they're prescribing the craziest stuff, like antibiotics to kill all the stuff in your gut so that your skin clears up for a week and then you need more of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but so like what I found myself doing for like a long time was I was trying to like figure out like where like I wanted to go. And I feel like anytime we like make a firm decision, like we start like like demonizing
The opposite.
yeah, for sure. And I was like, why am I doing that? And then like once I started to like learn about everything, I'm like, no, like I can make this like sink in like the way like it should, you know? Like I don't need to be like your stuff doesn't work, like mine does. And like a lot of doctors like will do that. Like if you go to like a chiropractor or like any doctor or like an acupuncturist, like they'll be like, no, like my protocol works, you know?
Yeah, of course, of
And
course.
it's
I
like
tell them,
so like I want to like when someone like comes into my office, like I want to be able to give them like a bunch of different options, you know? Like if someone's like, I have like a gut problem, I'm not gonna try and convince them that like a subluxation in their back is causing that, you know? I'm gonna be like,
yeah.
but like some chiros would, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, no,
But I think the differentiator is going to be the fact that you can pull from all the different ideologies and say, okay, these are all the possibilities. Yes, it may be a nerve root in your, L1 S5, right?
yeah,
Um, and you then understand that you can also do an adjustment, but that's not going to be your only treatment.
exactly.
You're
Yeah.
going to maybe do an adjustment. Then you're going to understand, okay, we need to apply this sort of dietary, altercation to your lifestyle for the next 30 days to make sure we get a full reset. And in the meantime, you have this going on. There might actually be an antibiotic or some sort of prescription that we will use for a short period of time.
Yes.
And with the collaboration of all those three ideologies, Western, Eastern, Ayurvedic, boom, there you go.
Right into one. Yeah.
Now you have, yeah.
Like I can like picture it like someone like walking in, like we sit down, like if we talk like this, like get to know them, like figure out like what's going on like in their entire body, you know, like not just because I'm a firm believer that like it's not always just the stomach, like it's something else too. Like so like I love to be able to like give them like a diet plan, give them an adjustment, and then at the end like put some needles in them, you know, like why don't you relax like with some acupuncture, you know? So like that would like to me like that's yeah man, like that's
That's the
happiness to
game
me. Like when
changer.
I think about my future practice, I'm like yeah, like I can
Truly,
help people.
truly being
Yeah,
able to help someone for sure.
yeah,
And not helping them from like a 15-minute, diagnostic page of questions that have been given to you and practiced. It's like there's something human to us, and that's what we work on the nutrimetric side. So I'm a nutrimetrics health professional with a company that I think when we were working together, I may have just started with them, and I wasn't an athletic trainer at that point.
oh yeah, okay,
So
yeah.
once I became board certified athletic trainer, I was able to go through a training system with them to now become a nutrimetrics health professional. So not only can I do consultation for other health professionals, but I can also work this stuff into my own practice with my own clientele.
That's awesome.
And the whole ideology behind it is the fact that, and it's run by a naturopathic doctor. She's the one who runs the whole thing, Dr. Deidre Mason. Super, super brilliant mind. She's awesome. And the idea is that basically clients of doctors, of chiropractors, of pediatricians, of OBGYNs, of acupuncturists, of physical therapists, right? They're not getting the most out of their professional for one simple reason. That professional is very limited in what they can provide to you. And the only way for that professional to really make more money is to add more clients into their 8-hour workday. So the goal of an MD is to be able to get so many clients before their 11:30 break in the morning, right? And then so many clients after their 1:30 lunch is, over, right? Yeah. And because of that, you sit in the waiting room for 15 minutes, you walk in, one person takes your height, your weight, your measurements, blah, 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 then says, all right, they'll be here in a second. They do the and the blah, 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 right? And then all of a sudden, they ask you those scripted questions. And if you have a problem, they have someone else already waiting that they have to get to. The only way for them to make more money on you is to write a prescription so the insurance will then pay their office.
Exactly.
And the ideology is that if we can work with people without the need to have a certain amount of clients to make a certain amount of money, because you can only offer them one solution. Like we talked about before, you offer multiple different practices, services, solutions. Now you are having, from a healthcare professional standpoint, multiple streams of income from one patient. And that allows you to maybe only service 4 to 8 clients on a daily basis.
Exactly.
So now you don't have to worry about servicing 35 patients a day and not getting to know them and only having one form of income. They come in that you get a copay, and the other form is you leave them with a prescription to go get, right? That's the only one that they have. Or you refer them for an x-ray or an MRI.
Yeah, or some lab, or like get blood work done or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. So they're very limited, and it's not the healthcare professional's fault all the time. But the Nutrimetrics idea is that we can offer so many other solutions, whether it's genetic testing, nutritional counseling and coaching, and supplementation, right, through nutraceuticals that are actually approaching the I don't know how to necessarily word it, but they're going to have the ability to almost be written off like pharmaceuticals. So basically the fact that someone will be able to be prescribed it, although it is a naturopathic supplement from and nutraceutical. Nice. So that's the goal, is like moving in that direction. We all need that, because the healthcare professionals are not making money unless they're sending their clients in the wrong direction. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah. And so like my job now, I work for this MD who he became like a medical doctor, and then he did a residency in psychiatry. And then I think he did like a fellowship like in primary care. He's like 64 right now. So like this was like a while ago, but he became a psychiatrist and he was making a killing, man. And like eventually he was like, I'm just like, no one's getting better. Like I'm just like prescribing this stuff, like people like in and out of the office. And then he like eventually was like, someone took him to like homeopathy like seminar, and he got like into that, like diet and nutrition and herbs. And like his practice now, dude, like he's making half of his pay, he's giving people more time, like he's seeing less clients, and he's happy, man. And people are like seeing like that, like the results. But like what he's trying to do now is like switch over to like a membership based practice, because like insurance companies don't want to cover for like holistic services. So like they'll like audit his charts and stuff. And so like what he's trying to do is like make it like affordable, where it's like if you sign up for like 6 months, it's like 80 a month. If you sign up for a year, it's like 75 a month. And with that system too, it's like if someone doesn't show up, like he's still getting paid, which is good. And like a lot of people's co-pays are like $40-$50 anyways. So if you get like a few hundred people to like sign up on that, it just seems like a better system, you know. But at the end of the day, like not everyone has that luxury, like in the money. So, but we'll see.
No, unfortunately. And like you said, the insurance companies and the healthcare system kind of has everyone by the balls, because of the fact that the only way they're going to cover it is if it is a Western medicine practice that is, you know,
it doesn't make sense to me, like that.
There's great Western medicine.
Of course.
Right? We're not saying,
man, if I break my arm, like you better believe I'm going to the hospital too.
I'm pulling up to the ER. But then I've broken my foot, I've broken my nose, I've dislocated a rib, right? Like every time I go in for like an ER, they're literally trying so hard to walk me out with a prescription for some sort of oxy or something, and it's bad. I'm like, I didn't even take Advil when I broke my foot. I didn't do anything. I didn't take Tylenol. I didn't take a single NSAID, anything. Never mind freaking oxys for a broken foot. Like, what do you think I am? Like, that's so bad. And they're literally, she said 4 times. 4 times she asked me, no, I'm just going to write it. I'm just going to write it for you. I'm just going to write it for you. No, like, are you sure you don't want it? Like, no, I'm good. No, I'm just gonna write it for you. You sure? You sure?
Crazy.
Because that's how they make their money, unfortunately.
It's sad. Like I do believe that like most doctors, like they do mean well. Like
Sure.
they do, man. But like even like how medical school like is run, like they're programmed to sort of to behave like that. And like doctors have like a really high suicide rate, like a really high burnout rate. Dude, even residents, like the highest, dude. It's sad. So I was like, I'm not even gonna like the mind that I have, I just knew I couldn't sit through that, even though like it would have guaranteed me like more money down the road. I was like, man, like 7 years of me just biting my tongue, like it wasn't worth it. Like I'm in a
Yeah.
program where like I'm actually happy, and like though financial income like might not be like as good at first, but like if I just like stay like on my path, like and be true to it, like eventually like everything else will fall into place too.
Yeah. Do good and karma will come around for you.
Yeah, man.
One of the registered dietitians I had on here, she's a business partner of mine. She's a health professional as well with Nutrimetrics, and she basically, I when I was going to get my master's in nutrition, and I was thinking about it, I was also thinking about continuing on with like becoming a registered dietitian, and I asked her, like, is there anything that you didn't like about it? And she was like, yeah, pretty much all of my residencies were in hospital settings, and that was pretty much the only thing they allow you to do. And it's bullcrap, because you're in a hospital trying to get people better, and you have to feed them like applesauce and like these boxed and canned goods that like are dropped off 2.5 weeks at a time and sit in a refrigerator 30 floors below where the patient's sitting. There's no like freshly made food, right? You're getting like canned cream spinach and like
It's like biological waste or something. Like you don't even know what it is, honestly.
Like, can we get these people some celery juice and like like something that'll actually
get better faster,
It's kind of crazy. So that's why I chose not to go down that route. I chose to just get my master's in nutrition for human performance. Now I have the opportunity to like get licensed as a nutritionist in most states and just be an LN.
Right. Yeah.
So, and that's not really, there's nothing really that I have to do other than pay my fees and pay for the letters, that kind of stuff.
Pay a fee.
Yeah.
Pay a fee
So, and I remember when we were working together, you would be sifting through your books back there on the desk, and you would have all these Ayurvedic, mostly Ayurvedic practices, and you would talk about I think like turmeric and cayenne and like all these different herbs and things as well. What has been the biggest thing that's like really shifted your brain from just the fitness industry? Was it more of like the brain training? Was it more of like the nutritional input stuff? What really like switched you up from
so when my daughter was like 6 months old, she's 4 now, she ended up getting the flu, and I got it like a few days later too, and I'm like a first time parent, and like she had like 104 like fever, man, and like we were tripping out. So like we brought her to women and infants, and they were like, well, like she's still like in good spirits, so like she should be like okay, like we can give her Tamiflu, like it might shorten the duration by like a day or two. I'm like what kind of so like I get like it's a virus, and like all that stuff, but like when I left there, I was like, this is just isn't good enough for me. And like social media, like it's a blessing, like and a curse. Like I have been seeing stuff on social media like for years about like all these like natural like flu killers and stuff like that, So I was like, you know what, man, like I'm going to Whole Foods, like I'm about to. So like I did, and I don't even know like this guy's name, dude, but he was a guru. He was like, you need this, like you need that. So like he gave me oil of oregano, elderberry, homeopathic remedy, and then eucalyptus like essential oil. He was like, diffuse that, do like the elderberry, like bro. Within a day and a half, my daughter and I woke up in like a puddle of sweat. Our fever was broke. We were like completely better. And I was like, that was the coolest shit I've ever seen in my life. I was like, I want to do this with my life. So like ever since that day, so like that happened in like the wintertime. And I was like, I just so happened to be watching a show with my girlfriend at the time. And she was, I think it was called like Private Practice. And there was like a natural doctor on there. And I was like, do these like people even exist? And then I started to like look it up. I was like, holy shit, like they actually do. They're just not big on the East Coast. So like you don't hear about it much. And then I was like, this is cool. So I did my research, like I found my program, and I was like, I definitely just want to head into that like direction, like and learn more about this. Like, and at that time, it wasn't even really like for like a career. Like it was more for like for myself and like what I could bring to my family and like add into my life. And it's been amazing, man, since then. So
Yeah, that's what I feel like. In a sense, it's been the experiences most that change people's insight, and
definitely,
it's not just accepting the narrative. Like,
yeah,
cool, they gave me an answer. Oh, they're an expert. I'm just gonna believe what they have to say, and just kind of like letting life smack you in the face and kind of run its course and do whatever it wants, right? And yeah, it's cool to see that the simple questioning led you to experience something that led you to completely change your entire like life path.
I was like, this wasn't good enough for me, like, and if I didn't have my daughter, like I may have chose differently, like and just taken the damn Tamiflu, but I was like, no, like she's suffering, like that's what like was on my mind. Like she was like shaking and she had a high fever, and I was like, yeah. So I was like, no, like I got to do something. And like it wasn't like I didn't believe in that stuff. I just didn't like fully like understand it yet, But like once I had like someone being like, no, like you should like try this, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna try it. And then like ever since that day, like I haven't taken an antibiotic. Like I don't take anything.
No, me either. People
Like,
come over, they're like, hey, do you have Advil? Or like,
oh,
I'm like,
I,
oh, sorry. Neosporin? No, I use coconut oil.
yeah, exactly. And like you really get like over the years, like I felt like ostracized at times too, man. Cause like people will like they'll look at you funny sometimes. They're like, you what? And you use what instead of what? And I'm the weird one. Like
yeah, hold on.
drugs. Like I'm trying to like take care of myself. And like it's so funny because like a lot of people like will like they'll sort of like come at me like you have to do this, like you have to do that. And like as far as like health and the virus, like and all this stuff. And I'm like, when's the last time you were sick? And they were like, well, like a few weeks ago. I was like, I haven't been sick in 1.5 to 2 years. Mm-hmm. And like you want to like lecture me. And so it's just tough, man, like when you take that like against the grain route, like you'll always be butting heads with people. But like that's the price we pay,
Yeah, no, without a doubt, dude. It's the yellow brick road, right? The one less taken. The idea too that your doctor that you're kind of studying under right now,
yeah,
he's making less money, but he's helping more people and he's doing it more efficiently.
Yeah.
Right. When it comes down to the joy that brings, the other way I look at collabing what you were thinking of is most people that get into this end up wanting to just educate more people, right?
Yeah.
Help people help more people, as opposed to just having your practice where you can only service your clientele. So that's another thing that I love about Nutrimetrics and the way that they've created the symbiotic relationship and the lack of competition, but more so collaboration. Now, as a consultant and a health professional, I can introduce these sort of services and practices to other health professionals so they can service their clients as well.
That's awesome.
So now it's not only that I can help my clientele, but I can help, a whole nother practice, maybe 5, 6, 7 other practices, right?
Yeah, that's
and then you get the best of both worlds. And with that, the multiplication of naturopathic type of medicine where people are actually oh, my genetics say that I need to do this, so I'm not just guessing and checking and doing keto and, this and that, right? And like, well, my
Yeah,
I should drink coffee, I
hit it
shouldn't
on the
drink
head with
coffee.
that. Like, you really did. Like, it's just as simple as that. Like someone like having like a vitamin D deficiency. Like,
Dude,
and
I
and you're like, wow, I feel so much better. And it's
yeah.
like it took you 30 years, like just to figure out. Crazy.
Yes. I have a whole booklet. I got mine back. Damn, I think it's out in my backpack. I got mine back. I want to say like a month and a half ago, and it gives you a whole booklet. It tests 48 different genes, 61 different gene SNPs,
Wow.
and basically it goes through vitamin B12, folic acid, vitamin A, beta carotene, vitamin D, caffeine stimulation, obesity risks, leptin sensitivity. Dude, literally so many different things. It gives you such crazy insight. And then you input it into an Excel sheet, and it basically kicks out like, all right, these are things we would recommend from a dietary standpoint, from a lifestyle standpoint, and from a supplementation standpoint. So then you get like a whole thing, right? It's like, okay, now I know what I got to input, output, take out, put in. And you don't have to guess and check anymore.
That's huge.
It's massive.
Because like that's what we're doing, like essentially. Like we're just
Guess and check.
trying to figure out like what works. Okay, well that feels good, so I'll just stick with that.
And it's different for everybody, right?
No,
Like
it is.
you're now getting into the acupuncture world, right? Post chiropractic. That's another thing you want to do.
Yeah.
You'll understand all you're doing is playing with different nerves, right? And that nerve is just a part of a nervous system spider web that is who we are. That's how we think, smell, feel, taste,
Right, yeah, pretty much everything.
and see the world, right? So it's quite literally different for everybody. Like yeah, dude, it's wild. Some people like the smell of gasoline, some people don't.
Exactly.
And the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? It's crazy to think that there's so many people on social media, like you said, it's a blessing and a curse, that are like, hey, this worked for me, you should do it too.
Yeah.
And then there's also the whole ideology that our healthcare system is completely systematic in its approach, to the point where it takes millions of dollars to educate, right, health professionals at this point. And they are taught that we're all human beings and we're all pretty much the same, and this prescription is going to work for this person.
Yeah, like cars almost, like,
exactly.
Like we're machines. Yeah.
And it's just not, it's not even close to the realistic, world that we live in. So it's wild. I'm so glad you're freaking going down this road, man. What is it that from chiropractic standpoint, I have something that I would probably go to you for. I have jujitsu, had a jujitsu little mishap a little over a year ago. It was like 14 months ago.
Okay.
I want to say it's somewhere T6 to T8.
Okay.
It's the top of the rib cage here in the front. Displaced rib. Ooh. Right? I was hyperextending and rotating, and it kind of just popped, bro. It was so painful. And I never went and got it checked out. I never went and did anything. I had like 7 clients that day. That was like a 6:30 in the morning thing.
Oh, you just.
And dude, it sucked. I had to go through the rest
of it that day though, huh? Don't lie.
Yeah, dude, dude, I didn't. I swear, I didn't take a single thing, dude.
Good for you. Good for you.
And what would be like first and foremost where your mind goes? Someone walks in and tells you that.
So for something like that, like that's where like the chiropractor would come in handy, because like I wouldn't go to like an acupuncturist like for something like that, So I mean, like you gotta like set it back in place. But I think like another thing too is that like a lot of chiropractors, they lack like soft tissue manipulation. Like they can like set a bone, like they can give you like an adjustment, and then like a lot of like PT people who do like the soft tissue, like they lack like the like adjustments. So I started doing a trigger point therapy course, like on my own. That way, like when I'm done, I can like involve that, and like as a chiropractor, you can do like a 100-hour like physiotherapy like certification too.
Yeah.
Like you can learn that stuff, and like I feel like that's like huge too. Like you have to have like more than one. Yeah, man. Like you gotta do both, because like I can adjust you, but like if I'm not like fixing like the muscles that like surround it, like it's just gonna go right back like the way it was, you know. So yeah, that's
Muscles pull bones. One of their 3 jobs, right? Yeah. And like my use of the muscles is what pulled it out, right? So it's
yeah.
like,
So
right. So you have to be able to manipulate that joint, probably the facet joint, right?
yeah, put it back into place.
Move
Like
that back into place. But eventually, those muscles have been tight for 14 freaking months now.
yep, got it. Yep,
So
yep.
they're just going to slowly and gradually pull that back in. I'm glad you literally took that and ran exactly where I was going to go.
Yeah, man. Because I've seen it, you know, and like I've lived through it, and like I've like gone to chiropractors. Like I worked for one, and like the chiropractor that I worked for, he was a good dude. He was very like money hungry. Like he would do like a 5-minute like adjustment, like put him on like heat or like the or like a TENS unit, and just bang bang, just like one after the other. And I was like, he's not doing like, don't get me wrong, like people like were getting better, but they had to come in like 3 times a week, like just for like that's the, and I'm like, this just isn't like, if I have to see a patient 3 times a week, like there's an issue. Like for something like acupuncture, because like I've got like acupuncture plenty of times, and like there's like this aspect of it that's like super like relaxing, man. Like you get this like super like weird tingle, and you're just like, so like, and so to me, like I could do like I could tell someone like, I don't necessarily think that like you would have to come 3 times a week, but if you enjoy how you feel like when you get acupuncture, like you might as well continue to come, you know. So but yeah, man, yeah, like chiros and just like people in general, like they'll just do like that one thing that they know how to do, and then they gotta write you a script to the physical therapist, or and like I want to be able to like try and, or they won't, and they'll be like, no, you're good now, you know. Like they'll set
Just
it
come
back
back
in,
again
and
tomorrow.
like you should be okay. Like if it pops out again, like, you know, give me a call. It's like it doesn't, it just shouldn't work like that, you know. So yeah,
I agree.
I'm trying to
And
bridge that gap.
think,
I am, you know.
yeah, no, I appreciate that. It's a holistic approach, and the idea is that the idea in my brain too is that like it sucks that most people don't know the one thing they have to live with their entire life, which is their body. They don't know anything about it.
You get one.
Yeah, like you literally you can, know as much as you want to about houses. You can like move into a new one or go build one or buy one, right? Like there's plenty to go around. You can't just go move into another body. You're not a snail. You can't just go find a new shell.
Imagine. Eventually down the road, man, that'll probably be the case.
Yeah. Just like transfer everything
Yeah,
to another body. Yeah,
probably.
no doubt.
Well,
And
right,
it's funny to go back and circle back to the chiropractor. The passive manipulation and treatment and modalities of, let's do some cupping on you, let's do some, TENS unit stimulation, and then let me, relax as much as possible, let me pop you back in. What I don't understand, just from a pure practicality of logic standpoint, the person 99% of the time didn't passively end up in that position.
Yeah.
They didn't passively end up with a rib displaced or a SI joint that's cranked way into the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Or, a cervical facet joint that's completely just way out of place, right? They didn't like passively end up like that. So you have to think, all right, then it happened actively. Okay, as a result of what? Most of the time, the way that they're moving, the way that their muscles were pulling their joints. So if that's what we know, then what moves the muscles, the nervous system, and what is the nervous system doing? It's just inputting and taking input from everything inside and out. So we have to not just change the stuff that it's taking in, but we have to change what it's putting out in order for that muscle to act differently the next time, so that joint doesn't get pulled into the same.
Exactly.
Which is where things like trigger point therapy through active range of motion makes a bigger difference rather than just passive. That's where something like inhibition and reciprocal inhibition through muscle activation and isolation makes a big difference. Where breathing, right? Like you can't get your spine manipulated from an external force and then never practice moving or breathing with it in the right place, and then go sit in your car again and expect it to not go back into place.
That's what's tough. And like and my boss and I talk about that like a lot, like healing people and then just like sending them back out into like a sick world or like back into their like environment. So like,
or their sick mind.
Exactly. So like there's like like you can't teach someone a lot of stuff in what, like 10, 15, like you have to take the time, bro. Like my boss, right? This is like a great example. So he has this patient who gets like extreme anxiety about not knowing what to cook for her daughter who's like ill. She's like, I don't know like what to make for her, and she gets awful anxiety, terrible, like debilitating. And instead of writing her a prescription
for anxiety meds that have a side effect of anxiety,
he's gonna take a whole nother turn. He brings in recipes for her, and he's showing her recipes of how to cook, and her anxiety it's gone. Like she has recipes now. And like once he told me that, I was like, that in itself to someone else would be like, what? Like that's not healing. And bro, like what do you mean? Like this is what's triggering her anxiety, and he's helping her. It's like, it's crazy.
We're human, right? We go back to like, we are human. We just need support. We need an ear. We need a shoulder. We need someone to listen and help.
And figure out like what's actually going on. And all that was going on with that lady was she just literally just didn't know what to make her daughter, and it was stressing her out. Like
and where, right? So it's like, well, what is the root cause? Well, it doesn't have a scientific root cause application or MOI, right? Well, the root cause was that she's anxious about not knowing something in the future, what to cook her daughter.
Exactly.
That anxiousness is doing what? It's a release of hormones, mostly cortisol, right? Yep. Goes into the body. The brain goes into, oh shit, I don't have food for my daughter. It doesn't go into, I don't know what to cook. It goes into like old school thought, I don't have food for my daughter. And then what happens? More cortisol release, more adrenaline, right? And what does that do? That immediately changes the way she breathes, the tension that her muscles hold. And then all of a sudden,
too, like to her daughter, like now she, like, so it's a real
now everything changes because that anxiety creates a hormonal disruption and tornado of shit that influences her gut, her digestion, her ability to make a decision, her creativity and frontal lobe, right? Her ability to breathe. And people just don't connect those dots, and it's unfortunate. And that's why I don't understand why it's not a part of school, man. I don't get it.
I don't even think like doctors, like they really take like nutrition courses and stuff like that too. And
dude, I mean, like if we knew what our body was capable of and how it reacted by the time we were 18 and so-called ready to go out into the like our world,
Oh, man,
how different would life be, bro?
way different.
Be
Like,
wild.
yeah, like we're learning all, well, I don't want to say like we're learning all the wrong stuff, but we could be learning like more useful
More
information.
practical stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that like how to take care of ourselves. Like
Mhm.
it's, and like no one really knows. And like once you figure out that you'll never know, and like new stuff comes out all the time, and to think that like we have all the answers is like we're just being like naive. So I like it's like an ever growing thing, man. Like
But
every
it has
year like a new finding comes out and you're like, oh damn.
like 2020.
Yeah,
I mean, nobody could have predicted this, right?
yeah, this has been
Except for all the people that predicted it and somehow now, have the answer and solution for it, right?
yeah.
But that's a whole rabbit hole. Um, it really is it's forever changing, but I think what we lack is the culture of having a way of life, a lifestyle that is connected to who we are as beings, as human animals.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very simple. Like there's a great quote. Like you bring your dog to the vet. They're very sick. You bring the dog to the vet. The first thing the vet asks, what has it eaten in the last 24 hours?
Exactly. Yep.
Doesn't like go into this like crazy spiel about this and that, and it's like very simple. Back to like what makes an animal function and run.
Yep.
And it is really still mind-boggling to me that we weren't taught anything. Some of the stuff that I know from anatomy, I still remember more than anything else I did in high school.
Yeah.
It was like my anatomy honors class in like 11th grade. I was like a junior in high school
Yeah,
because it
because
was
like you're
just
learning like about
practical, full
yourself. Huh?
size.
Yeah, like you're learning about yourself essentially. Like it's
Exactly.
yeah, that's what makes it interesting for sure.
It's wild. So where in your day-to-day life, are you still doing training? Are you still helping anybody on that end from
Yeah,
like
so like
point?
people I pretty much give free advice, free workouts, like free anything like it's just not something that I'm looking to make like a profit off of right now. I just yeah, I when I was working at Renegade, like that's when I was like in school, I started doing like the like intermittent fasting then, which I was like really big on like a lot. And I'll fast like I realized that anytime we try and take something to the extreme, it's it's like even like the ketogenic diet. Like I tried that for like a week, like week and a half, and then like I was reading like you have to drink like a lot of lemon juice to like combat like what it's doing. And I was like, if I have to consume something to help with like a negative side effect, I was like I'm just not gonna do this, you know. So yeah, so like everyday life now is pretty much just like incorporating like what I've learned in my own life, and like I put it out there, like I talk to people about it and stuff. But like yeah, training, I don't know, man. I think I
Wow.
lost a drive for it, honestly.
Yeah, the passion for it.
Yeah, well, because like I started doing it like fresh out of high school. Like I did my senior project on personal training, and I made like diet and like workout programs for like different like body types and stuff. And I gave like all the people that were like grading it like workout plans and stuff. Like they loved it, and I was like, you know what, like this is cool. And then 20, I'm 27 now, so like I've been training for like 8 or 9 years, and like I loved it, man. But like it was tough though, like people canceling, like just like waiting around like for clients, like in a private gym, like you're making more money, but like you're at like the leisure of like people canceling, and you're like waiting around, and
Two
then you're like
cancellations today.
yeah, and you're like should I charge them? Like I don't
Yeah.
want to like lose that like rapport like in that like relationship. But then you go work for like a big corporation, and like you're getting paid hourly, but like you're making peanuts, you know. So
Mhm.
it's like eventually I was like I definitely like in my future practice one day I definitely want to have like, even if it's like a small gym, like and have trainers and stuff like that too, because like that's huge, like to have somewhere, you know, like or to have like a contract like with the gym where like my patients get like like a half off membership or something like that. Cause like, yeah, I think it'd be silly for me to like leave out that aspect, or like, I'll just like can't see, like, I don't even like saying like, I'll like hand out like basic workout programs because everyone's
so different.
so unique, like so different. And like, unless I was there to like watch their form and stuff like that, it's sort of like, I'd rather have them be like in the hands of like someone like you, like a professional, you know, like who's like who knows their shit, like as opposed to them like going to the gym like with this workout program, like they get hurt and now they're back in my office, you know, like and I gotta fix them. So yeah, I think, yeah, I
I
definitely
think you should have a little space. I would keep
sure.
it in house, and your ability to, once again, uh, like you know, the guy you're working under, someone, you know, someone like very simply like learning how to dance, right, can like completely remove some energetic blocks that they may have, right? You talk about Eastern medicine, you learn about chakras, you learn about the neurological pathways and how energy travels throughout the body. If someone can break through an energy block through the release of some physical expression like dance, it's so easy to like overlook something like that.
Yeah.
But if you were to have a little space and like that is something that you could easily implement, having someone get on the ground and do, you know, a form of an animal flow movement can just open them up from an expression standpoint of what their body is able and capable of.
Exactly.
And that would be, you know, someone sits down in your office and you say, all right, you know, you have this little block here, you know, crack them back into place, do a little acupuncture, talk them through some of their issues, educate them a little bit, have them go out onto the floor. And now, like we said, actively move and practice some of that stuff
Exactly.
with the joint in a different place. Now, all of a sudden they move, they've learned, they've got passive and they've had active treatment.
Well,
That seems like
what could you
a
ask for, you
holistic.
know?
Yeah, dude. And then, you know, if that's an hour of your day, at least you know that that person is not going to have to, you know, spend an hour of their day going to get a prescription and then trying to learn something and then trying to figure out what the side effects are and then coming back to you with all these different questions and concerns and needing another, you know, crack and blah blah blah. So I would definitely, if I were you, I think your route, and you're more than capable of doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
I would
Yeah,
definitely
I
have a
think like
space.
the two things I definitely want um in my practice is that like small gym space, and then I want like a small meditation room too, where
Mm-hmm.
like patients can come like sit in that like before their before their appointment, like, or after, just like get like, and like some people are probably not going to use it, but like for me and like what I've learned is it's like, yeah, like people need, like, people might even come and just be like, yeah, like I'm gonna sit in that meditation room today, like, and not even
What if
care about
that's
the
your
treatment,
waiting
you
room?
know? Yeah, right. You know,
What
like,
if that's your waiting room, right?
like
You have,
soundproof the walls and stuff, just make it super, like, you know, like
dude,
I definitely want
if you don't have like, I saw a picture yesterday. It said if you don't have no, everyone should meditate for 20 minutes a day. Unless you're too busy, then you should meditate for an hour. And I was like, oh, that's good. That's clever. And if that was your waiting room, think about how much more relaxed someone is going to walk into that meeting and that sit down with you.
way
How
more
much more
calm.
open-minded are they going to be?
Exactly.
And then not only that, but when they come to see you, now they're guaranteed that maybe 5 or 10 minutes of quiet time and meditation for themselves. That, yeah, maybe, you know, they only come see you 2 times a month, but
Still,
that's two more, you know, that's two more times that they meditated than they would have if you didn't have a meditation room for a waiting room. It's
exactly.
like,
Yeah, man, I think about this stuff, like it makes me so happy. I'm
yeah,
like,
dude, it does it.
it's so cool, you know, like
It
to think
does.
about, like, just like you're creating something like that, you know. It's nice.
Because uh it's what we would want.
And it's what people need too, you know, like
Yeah.
like over here, like on the West Coast, they probably have stuff like that. Like on the East Coast, like not so much. Like you don't see like holistic centers and stuff like that often.
Yeah,
So
not nearly as much.
no.
Are you still in freaking Cranston?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you? You are?
Yeah, I'm living in Cranston. I move March like 20th to Oregon or Oregon.
Oh,
Yeah, they call it Oregon. So
they
yeah,
call it.
so
Yeah, they call it Oregon.
yeah, so they put like my first 2 quarters online, obviously because of the virus. So like all my like in-person labs, they like pushed back, and like any class that they could make like online, like they push forward. So it's been interesting. Like I'm learning like how to read X-rays, like structural biochemistry, spinal anatomy, gross anatomy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I'm taking like 9 courses, and 2 of them have labs, so it's like 11 course, something like that. But I'm learning a lot, man. Like it's
Busy.
like, I'm not retaining it all, obviously, but like I'm learning like what I feel like I need to know. But yeah, so I'll be in Oregon for like 2.5 years, and then I'll transfer to the school in Chicago for like another like 2.5 years as well. So like it'll be like 5 years. Like I have a double doctorate, like a master's in acupuncture, and like what more could I ask for? Like I'll come back to the States probably, like Rhode Island, and hopefully, yeah.
There you go, man. That's huge. And it's cool. Your daughter's still young, and I'm assuming you'll be out in Oregon before she's in school officially, right? She's 4 right now.
Yeah, so the program runs like on quarters, so it's like 11 weeks on, 2 or 3 weeks off. So like every 2.5 months, like I'll be able to fly home, which is
Okay.
good. Yeah, and like it was a bit daunting at first, but like there are people like fighting for our country, man, like who don't see their kids for like years at a time, you know. So like I have that luxury to be able to fly home, and so
I have a buddy that I met when I moved down here, and he got stationed out in Hawaii, and I was asking him probably like 2 weeks ago. I was like, "Hey man, like when's looking at coming home anytime soon? Any opportunities to just come home at all?" And he said, "Man, I probably won't be able to come home for like 2 to 3 years."
yeah, man,
And I
that's
was like, "Wow."
like yeah.
Smacks you in the
How do
face.
you
And
get
he's
that
got a
news?
kid.
You're
His,
like, I'm
his
not.
kid's like 7. I think his kid's 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah, yeah, man, it's tough, but like, thank God for like technology, like in FaceTime and stuff, you know, because like it's
Without a doubt.
yeah, like it's not the same thing, but obviously, like if I can FaceTime my daughter like every single night before bed, like that's you know,
Better than not.
yeah, seriously, for sure.
Yeah. And my question, leading from that is, what is your plan with your daughter? And obviously, this is all stuff that we want to learn so that we can first and foremost take care of our own families. So how is it that you think about and want to go about kind of bringing this light to her and introducing all of this?
Yeah, like I already do, man. Like so, like she'll take like when she's sick, like she'll take like elderberry. It's it's funny because like her mom's a nurse, and she's in school to be like a nurse practitioner, and she like we have conversations because like she's learning like a lot of like pharmacology, and she's like, this is like dangerous stuff I'm learning, you know. And she comes to me like a lot about like natural medicine, and so she's like good about like what we give our daughter, but she's like huge on like vaccines, like that's important. And like it's not that I don't believe in vaccines, like I just think that honesty is like the first step. Like just tell people like, hey, this is what's in it. There's like a 20% chance it may fuck you up, but the benefits may outweigh the risks. Like just tell people that. Don't be like it's 100% safe and effective. Like the heavy metals in it are fine. Like no, like just don't lie.
Nothing wrong with it whatsoever.
Yeah. So like don't get like she's like she has that like Western medicine mindset, but she's like recently
She's
like
open-minded.
yeah, you know, like she's learning, and yeah, so like my daughter, like she'll take like homeopathic remedies, like they like dissolve under your tongue, so she's already kind of like getting into that. Like she doesn't like understand it, it's just more of like
Well, that's kind of where my question was going, right? She's young now, so it's nature and nurture, bro. It's like
exactly, like
you have to
medicine's
nurture her that way.
kids in her class, you know, it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
a lot different.
That'll differentiate how she views things getting older.
Yeah, she'll be like, you guys take cough syrup, like you guys take pain medication, like
that's not how it goes here.
yeah.
Which is funny. That's the best way to get someone to learn, and so many people take advantage of that with kids, right? You can manipulate and nurture someone to believe whatever you want them to believe and to do whatever you want them to do. So to see, the opportunity in teaching someone for generations to come how it will improve their life, and then grandchildren and great grandchildren, right? That's I say it all the time. That's my ideology behind limitless theory. Is like, I myself am very limited. I'm a freaking human being, right? I'm not gonna fly in any capacity that a bird can, right? I'm never going to do crazy things at the bottom of our ocean, right? Like there's only so much that I'm actually capable of. But from a mind standpoint, from a neurological standpoint, my ability to comprehend something, to learn something, enables someone else close to me, around me, or coming into this world behind me to piggyback off of. And we're all we're doing is evolving, right? This conversation is evolving, both of us, as we speak.
For sure.
In the most minuscule way, but it really does simply work like that. It's another drip of water into the lake, and everything has a ripple, right? So then the ideology of like, well, now with all the things going on in COVID, do you like send your kid to school, and do you want to homeschool your kid? And like,
it's tough.
Those things become crazy. And now the mandated vaccine for COVID, you can't even send your kid to school unless they have it.
It's gonna be tough. I think they're gonna do that like for most things though. Like even going to like the grocery store, like getting on a plane. Like if you don't have like a card or a pin or like a medallion, man, like who knows? Like
medallion.
like whatever they give you, like to pat you on
in your wrist.
Yeah. It's I think we're gonna, or like maybe not. Like that could just be like a conspiracy theory, But yeah, we'll see,
I saw a great photo the other day. It said it showed a picture of two different people, it was two different pictures, one on top of the other, and it said normal people, and it was one of those dudes with like the fish tank mask thing. Like, I don't know if you've seen that, like sits on your shoulders and completely encapsulates. Yeah. It looks like freaking Sandy from SpongeBob. It looks like her helmet.
And people like enjoying like their Thanksgiving, and it was like
it was like conspiracy theorists, and it was like 8 people standing together without masks talking, and I was like,
strange times we're living in. Very strange.
It's very strange, man. Very strange. And it's not to say that everything is out to get us and this, that, and the next, but like, people are just a little bit glazed over, and there's a lot of things going on.
I'm just a firm believer, like you got to ask questions, like just to follow like what people say, like that's just not good enough for me. Like I want to see why you're telling me like to do this, and are there any like risks or benefits,
I mean, I have no problem like asking questions when you say like, if you have the flu, you take elderberry and take, you're like, what? Or okay, where's the research on that, right?
Exactly.
But then someone's like, oh, this vaccine's gonna cure COVID and the whole world will be free. It's like, oh, no, that sounds cool. No questions asked. I don't know. There's just something wrong with that. That whole ideology that there's conspiracy theories and there's this and there's that. It's like, at the bottom, and you know, the end of the day, the old saying is that there's two sides to every story.
Yeah.
And people are gonna sell what they want to sell and hear what they want to hear and do what they want to do. So
Sure.
I'm gonna do me, you do you.
Exactly. So like what we're trying to do now, I feel like is like convince the other party that like they need to follow like what you're doing. Like you see like on social media, like all the time, like people just going back and forth, like on these threads. Like you're not gonna change anyone's mind. Like people already made their mind up, you know? It's
Well, the other thing is that we also, growing up in this country, we think there's only two parties to everything and anything that ever happens under the sun.
Yep.
It's either black and white. Like, no, we live on this, and that's, once again, it's the theory of you know, the brand is that everything happens on a scale. It's a gray scale. There's the black and white is infinitely expanding, right? Like, if you know anything about like the universe, what is it? It's that it's constantly getting bigger.
Exactly.
It's constantly expanding. That applies to everything in the world, every little thing, because all we are is chemistry and energy. And oh man, it's a crazy thing. People are gonna sit here and question, like, what do you mean it's energy? Protons and neutrons and electrons. And
Yeah, I used to always think that like everything like was so black and white, and like I used to say that like everything's just like black and white, and like the more I'm learning, I'm like, dude, everything's a shade of gray. Like I don't like I don't know anything anymore. Like
there's no 50 shades. There's like
yeah.
there's way more than that.
Yeah, man. Like everything is like situational, like your perspective. It's yeah, it's not black and white anymore, you know?
No, not at all. It the way I've worded it before, and I've probably said this a bunch of times on the podcast, is that everything we do is unprecedented. So yes, I have done this or done that, or you've dealt with a patient that had a similar symptom, but that doesn't mean that the same things apply. You may have had the same person come into you a week earlier with the same symptom, but that scenario is unprecedented. It's different.
Yep, exactly.
Why is it different? Well, they've done a million things since the last time you saw them. There's a whole different, you know, array of hormone ratios running through their body than last time you saw them. There's probably a different life event or a different tension in their house where they're living. They have different food in their body digesting as you speak to them. All of those things actually do play a factor, and we just look at things in such like a vacuum sometimes. It's like it is what it is, and that's all.
Right.
You know, that's all.
My boss has he has biological twins, and like he's like they're in the same home, the same environment, like they have like the same type of diet, and he's like one is staying like super thin, and then the other like has been like gaining like weight randomly, and it's like they're biologically like the same, and it's like you have to ask the question of like why is this happening, you know? It's interesting.
I mean, if I experience an event standing here and I have someone else standing right here experiencing that event, it's two different experiences.
Way
It
different.
really, you know, it's two totally different experiences. And then people just don't wrap their head around it. And I think it's because we're so inundated with so much going on in our external environment that no one turns inside and tunes in and just has these conversations and thinks about these things. And that's why I like doing this podcast. For the most part, is just sitting down and actually conversing with somebody. It doesn't happen enough.
No,
it does not happen enough.
Much. I mean, like you see it like when people like it's funny because like I was talking like it's to my friend Paul about that. Like you get like a few beers in you, like you're like around your boys, like and you guys just start like having these like amazing conversations, and you're like, why don't we talk about this stuff like when we're sober, you know? So
why doesn't it happen? Like a Friday night, you know, feel is completely different than like a Wednesday afternoon, and like it doesn't have to be.
And then most heart attacks happen on a Monday morning, you know? It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, it really is wild, man. And it's I feel like the information is smacking us in the face, and we're just so inundated with so much different forms of entertainment around us that nobody's tuning in and thinking about any of it. It's unfortunate. What is your take on brain training and understanding how that all ties in? Because like you said, the guy that you're working under is like a psychologist, right? Or was?
Yeah, psychiatrist.
Yeah, psychiatrist. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're obviously experiencing that and kind of running through that stuff with him. And I've had a good amount of experience now with, some brain training stuff. Where does your mind go? How do you attack your day, I guess is the best question, knowing that like everything you do is going to impact what's turning and
No,
how
you're
those
right.
things are going.
Like a few years ago, like I probably would have gave you a way different answer. And like I think what's helped me the most with that is when I stopped seeking perfection and I started seeking balance.
Mm.
Like that to me is because like you have this idea that you're gonna wake up, get out of bed, make it, like brush your teeth, like you're not gonna stub your toe, like and like life just doesn't work like that. Like it has so many like ups and downs, and like what would happen is like if something would like throw me off that perfect schedule that like I had in my mind, I'd be like, well, it's all going to shit. Like I'll try next week, you know? And like even like with dieting too, like we're so like one extreme or the other, like as humans that like if like you wake up and something happens and then you end up like eating like a donut instead of like your spinach like omelet, you're like, well, my day started off bad with a donut, like I slipped up, I'll just for the rest of the day now just eat like shit, you know? And like I used to do that, and like now I understand that it doesn't have to be one extreme or the other. And like I was telling you like the other day, like if I know like I'm gonna go out like at nighttime and get like steak and fries and potatoes and a few drinks, I will eat super healthy all day long, like superfoods, fruits, like vegetables, and it feels like balance to me, like like that. So I think people need to like just chill out, like take some pressure off yourself,
Yeah.
and like the rest sort of like unfolds like when we stop trying to be like so no, like it's gonna be perfect, like it's gonna be perfect, like life is not perfect, and you have to like take the time too to like enjoy yourself, because like when I was eating like chicken, rice, and vegetables, and I was like super strict, and I was miserable, like I thought I was healthy, but at the same time, like I was probably taking years off my life from that stress, like and not going out, like not having fun, and just like sitting there, like it got to a point like I was blending chicken like just to try and get it down, it was like, so it's like the life I'm living now, like going out like a little more, like obviously we're like a little restricted with the virus and stuff, but like going out more, like if I'm gonna go out or like I'm gonna have like a bad meal, I'll like counteract. I'm like, no, like I'm gonna eat clean like all day long. And then like even exercising too, I'm like at a minimum, I'm gonna work out 3 days a week.
Yep.
And if I do that, then I win. Like before it was like, no, I'm gonna be in the gym every day, 6 days a week. And like I'm learning like about like this central nervous system, like recovery, like even like neural recovery. Like I believe that like we're given a certain amount of like energy each day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like you can really
Do
tap in,
damage.
yeah, or like tap into tomorrow's energy where like you wake up the next day and you're completely drained from the day before. So like I really like when I work out, the minute I get that like second wind, like and I feel good, I just walk out the gym.
Mm.
And then all day long I feel that, as opposed to like redlining, and then like now like I'm exhausted, I can't study, like I'm gonna wake up like sore and miserable tomorrow. So yeah, man, just yeah, like I'm learning balance, which is good, and that and is just helping me like perceive things differently, which is awesome.
Perspective.
Yeah, literally, like I switch my, but like it doesn't happen overnight though, like people think that like this took me like years, like a few years. And like I see this life coach Glenn Ambrose, I'm
Okay.
gonna plug him right now, he like really like helped me with that, like changed my perspective, and he's like, this isn't gonna happen overnight. And then like I woke up one day and like I was thinking to myself, I was like,
Uh-oh.
oh. So but like I'm here now, but like it was not like an overnight process.
I lost.
Changing perspective is not easy.
Yeah,
Oh, hold up.
unfortunately, I lost you right there.
Oh, geez, hold up.
Lost your camera.
Am I
Oh,
back?
there it is. Yeah.
Am I back? Oh, cool. I don't know like what happened.
No, it's all good. No, that's huge. And like you said, it takes years to kind of cultivate and understand that balance is really what we do need, and it's when you'll feel the best. It really is.
Yeah,
Because yes, great things take sacrifice, undoubtedly. Um,
for sure.
but what are you willing to sacrifice? And why are you willing to sacrifice it for that goal? A lot of people are sacrificing mental health or longevity for the aesthetic pleasure that they're looking for because they want to appease
Exactly.
someone else or something along those lines. That happens a lot.
Huge.
Now I'm definitely a believer as well that you have to put yourself through some sort of really shitty situation in order to like understand what you're truly capable of, right? I think
For
that
sure.
I think that we have to expand our limits often, but the only way that happens is by getting to that limit, that edge, right? You're like, holy shit, I'm on the brink of it.
Sure.
Can I push through? Yes, you can, but to a certain degree, and you have to understand when that is going to benefit you and when that is going to deter you from actually getting what you
Exactly.
want, which I think is what you were hitting on, right? It's like every time you go to the gym and you redline, every single time, your body can't get out of that, especially if you cannot find that 5 minutes to freaking decompress or learn how to freaking meditate. You're going to severely miss out on recovery, and that is the biggest thing, because you're going to deplete your electrolytes, your minerals, your hormones, and so many other things, and then tomorrow is completely altered by today's actions. Like you
Exactly.
suck
Which
wind
is
tomorrow.
huge. It's true, and I think you like hit it like on the head too. Like when you're talking about like you is like sometimes like you do want to take it like to the extreme, and you're like, wow, like I'm actually like super capable, and even like on like the other end of that too, like if like this is good and like I'm gonna hit like a PR and like this is like like a shitty day where you're like I want to like ram my car into a pole. Like I feel like you need to experience
Both.
these like extremes to find the to like eventually find the balance. Like you're not gonna like find balance like unless like you've done like you've had highs and lows, you know. So I think being one extreme or the other for so long like gave me like perspective on like what balance could look like, you know. Like for me, because my balance is going to be like a lot different like than what yours is, you know.
Yeah,
So
without a
yeah.
doubt. Like my balance is going to play basketball, like
Yeah.
that helps me so much. Like it puts me in a freaking happy place.
That's
That's
awesome.
not going to be the case for you necessarily, right? Or millions of other people. Um, it is truly something that you have to experience, but you have to seek it out, not from other people. You have to seek it out from what you're going through and what you're choosing to put yourself through on a day-to-day basis. And it's the same way I look at nutrition. People are like, gotta eat this way, gotta eat this way, gotta eat this way. Most diets are, in my mind, they're a prescription.
Yeah.
Veganism, fantastic. Do it for a month, maybe two. Do it for a quarter. I think that would be the limit that I would really give to somebody. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
but once again, now it's dependent upon that individual, their food sensitivities, their ancestral background, their blood type, all of those things play a factor,
Yep.
right? Their genetics. So understanding that, you know, the ketogenic diet is not good for everybody is okay. You don't have to live and die by it,
Exactly.
right? Like, and I think that's the issue with some people choosing to make one really binary, you know, thing, or not binary, one single thing, their way of life and their form of income and their form of helping people. If you only stick by that, then yeah, like you said earlier, everything else is competition.
Yeah.
Simply put.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, like you start like demon like no. And like that's where like you see like with these like I follow like a lot of people like on Instagram who give me like a lot of good information, but like their information that they're giving is also like shitting on someone else's, you
Mm-hmm.
know, that and you just kind of got to like I just take like what jives with me. I'm like that sounds like it'll work, boom, you know, and like and
Sift
you
through, take everything with a grain of salt,
exactly, and then
do
like
a
you
little research into it.
eventually end up like making your own formula, like in your own like recipe, and but like if how it goes if I follow someone like on IG like and he looks good and he has the wife and the kid and everything, I'm like wow, like I'm gonna do what he does to a T, and then I'm like why isn't this shit working for me? It's like whoa,
Yeah.
like you're not him, you know. So I think like we get like caught up in that a lot.
Very, very much so. And it's not, once again, it's no fault of our own. It
Yeah,
is human nature
for
to
sure.
want to follow in the footsteps and think everything is going to be super easy and try to find the easiest way. But when you have expectations, my client yesterday actually had a really good quote. I said, you know, expectations are what drive most people crazy. They expect something and something else happens. You know, I'm not a big person on expectations. And he goes, I don't think there's anything wrong with them. It's just the thought that they're not going to, you know, get screwed up. He was like, you can have them, just be, you know, be in the mindset that it's not going to go that way. Like, yeah,
That's
no, that's a good point. You
yeah,
know,
it is. And like that's what like we do, like we set an expectation and like we visualize it, and then when like it doesn't go that way, like we throw a fit. You know, it's like
yeah,
it
and it
didn't.
throws off everything else in the day,
Yeah,
or it makes you eat like shit for a week, or it, you know, makes you not work out for a month, or not talk to somebody for a year, right? It's like
right.
you had expectations. It's not, you know, necessarily their fault. You wanted something else, they did something else, or you wanted to eat eggs and a donut went down your throat. And
Yeah. I was saying, yeah, like that's what
it,
happens.
yeah, it definitely happens. It's crazy, man. There's like a million other things we could talk about.
Oh, so many, so
I'm looking, I'm like, holy crap, we've already been on here for like over an hour and a half.
oh, really? Jeez,
Yeah, man.
feels like 20 minutes.
It's absolutely wild. Proof is in the pudding. We definitely got to do another one of these again.
Yeah, definitely,
Um,
for
what is
sure.
what is one thing on a, you know, from a learning standpoint that you could point someone in the direction of, whether it's a podcast or a book or anything along those lines, even just someone to follow.
Honestly, this guy that I see, Glenn Ambrose, like he's a life coach, and like he's not like one of those like super like hit you like with like the Jesus stick. It's like more of like helping you like facilitate like your life, man. Like he like really has like helped me like change like my perspective on things. Like if you tell him something, he'll sort of like break it down of like how you probably like should be looking at it as opposed to trying to like
Give
you
you
know
the answer.
yeah, bro,
He
because
helps
like
you seek out your own answer.
yeah, exactly, because like it becomes like verbal vomit, and then I feel better, and then I go back to my life, and I fuck up some more, and I just come vomit like on like him again, you know, and it's more of like getting you somewhere else, like this is where you are, like where do you like want to be, and like what is that, like he's not gonna let me like complain to him. He's gonna be like, no, like we gotta fix this, like and make it better, you know. So yeah, definitely like that's what like what helped me is, so people need to like find someone that's gonna call them out like on their shit, and is gonna
Hold them
like
accountable.
help them get somewhere. Like, don't be like surrounding yourself with people who are like still talking about like the same things. And yeah, find somebody that
Yeah.
you can like even have these types of conversations with. Like, I know like this isn't like in like a podcast like environment, but like more conversations like this will get people somewhere, you know. So
It helps you sift through your mind so much
definitely, man.
to just talk about your ideas. I think what you were getting at is don't hang around the people that just talk about people.
Yeah, and
Hang
even if you
around the
gotta pay
people that
someone that like is gonna help you, like sometimes you gotta do it, you know, because
invest in your own health for sure.
yeah, because there's you'll see there's not like many people like that, you know, like you like walking, like the best example is like you walk into your job and you're like, guys, I just bought a new car, like I feel amazing, and everyone's like, fuck this dude. But if you walk in like, bro, like my tire popped, like it's a shitty day, like everyone's like, yeah, man, like it's shitty outside, like we connect on such like a miserable level, and
Yeah.
and if you're like the happy person like in the room, like you're the asshole,
Yeah.
like be that person and find other people like that, literally.
That's so well said. Damn.
Thank you.
Cut. Oh. The last thing I want you to do, man, is obviously share where people can find you or reach out to you or talk to you.
Yeah, like Instagram, like I'm on Instagram, Facebook, like I think my Instagram is Pat Kane _1 life. Like I still have like my business stuff on there. Like I'm trying to start like a page where like I'm like promoting more stuff and like putting like my journey like through like my education and stuff. So like I want to like just start putting like more stuff out there. So yeah, definitely like follow me on the gram. And
Cool.
yeah, cool,
Dude,
bro.
let's set up a time in the next week to freaking chop it up again, because there's like
Yeah,
way more stuff we can obviously talk about.
definitely. Yeah,
So
for
I'm
sure, man.
super down for that.
This was great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a good day after this.
No, dude,
And that's
you
me
will
setting an
be.
expectation.
Don't have that expectation,
Yeah.
but a big part of this, man, is and for everyone that's watching, you have conversations like these. The high that you have afterwards is
Oh yeah.
unreal, man. It's unparalleled. It really is.
You feel good.
So,
I feel good, bro. This was good.
appreciate you, man. Definitely got to catch up 100% again. Chop it up even more. We'll talk about that, and I'll text you off screen. But appreciate your
That
time,
sounds
man.
good. Hey man,
Yeah.
take care. Keep doing your thing, all right?
Absolutely, you too, and everybody watching. I am, we are, life is limitless. Bam. Peace out.
Peace, brother.
What's up, LT Tribe? DFOS here, just to express my gratitude and say thank you for tuning in and continuously commenting, liking, sharing, and subscribing to the episodes and the content that we are bringing you. It is helping so much. Once again, want to say thank you and hope you have a great rest of your day. DFOS here. I know y'all understand how much of a nutrition freak I am. And when I heard the world's most nutrient-dense food, you know I had to tune in, listen, and get learnt. So I need y'all to check out the LT360 podcast I did with Catherine Arnston, the founder of Energy Bits, an algae-based nutrition company. It is not a supplement. It is a one-ingredient superfood, and it is recognized as the most nutrient-dense food on the planet by the World Health Organization and others. So go check out energybits.com and make sure to use the discount code LimitlessTheory at checkout for 20% off. You will not be disappointed because you will have the most nutrient-dense food in your pantry in the world. Go check it out now. Peace. DFOS here to tell you about my new favorite kitchen appliance. And no, it is not a pan or even a utensil, but instead it is my new pure H2O water filter. It sits behind my kitchen sink. It removes up to 97% of chlorine from my tap water and 77 other contaminants. We know that our bodies are made up of 72% water, and there is a strong connection between the quality of the water that we intake and the quality and longevity of our life. So we have to make sure it is the cleanest and purest water we can get. With Pure H2O, I know that every time I turn my sink on, I'm getting the best and cleanest water possible. So if you want to learn more, head over to thelimitlesstheory.com/shop and you can learn more about Pure H2O. I'm sure you will not be disappointed. Adios. DFOS here with another important sponsor. This one is awesome. It is a way to get high quality meat delivered straight to your door by Bristelli's Meat Market. It was established in 1976. They are now a global leader in the highest quality meat. And it is awesome. If you are an unfranchised owner like myself, you can earn anywhere from 22 to 27.5% IBV on your orders. And if you are a customer through shop.com/limitlesstheory, you can also earn cash back every time you buy your high quality meats for you and your family. Not only can you get filet mignon and burgers and chicken, but you can also get salmon and tuna and shrimp, and even a combination of regular meat and seafood. So make sure to check out Bristelli's, but most of all, check out shop.com/limitlesstheory to learn more. What's up, Limitless Theory Tribe? Hope you enjoyed the episode. I wanted to take a second to shout out a childhood neighbor of mine, Victor Rosa. He just started a new podcast. Would love for you guys to go support. It's called Real Recognize Real. Just two dudes who love movies, all right? They are going to watch all the movies they can so they can give you quick and insightful reviews on them. These guys have education backing these reviews. They're not just throwing out random opinions. Once again, they are going to see the movies so that you don't have to. So go check them out. Real Recognize Real. Peace.